Welcome to Pilgrim in the Metaverse, an exploration of extended reality through the lenses of philosophy and education. Through each episode, I offer an introspective reflection about my encounters with immersive experiences, including video games and publications about augmented, mixed, and virtual reality. My name is Csaba Osvath. Thank you for joining me. Virtual reality first captured my imagination and interest when I came across Ernest Cline's novel Ready Player One in 2012. The book, especially the parts about virtual learning, inspired me to rethink and reimagine online education based on Cline's ideas. And in 2018, I published an article about this topic in the Journal of Language and Literacy Education. I will provide a link to the article in the show notes. In Ready Player One, the virtual world, Oasis, is depicted both as a place to find refuge from the drudgery of daily life and as a complex ecosystem where one can pursue a new or parallel existence due to the quality of immersion and the possibilities of interpersonal engagements. These are intriguing dimensions of virtual reality. The prospect of living and pursuing multiple lives and connecting with people or even non-human entities in meaningful ways. VR also offers new experiences and encounters inherently tied to this medium, experiences we could not have in the real world, such as creating a three-dimensional painting in an infinite space and later flying through that creation. Cline's story in Ready Player One also ignited a deep yearning for virtual experiences. So I spent the following years mostly reading about XR or extended reality since the technology wasn't accessible for me back then. However, all this changed when my dissertation chair and academic mentor, Dr. Jennifer Schneider, scheduled a visit to my university's Advanced Visualization Center, where I first tried the Oculus Rift. Even though I read many stories, both fictional and non-fiction, about VR, experiencing virtual reality did much more than enhancing or deepening my understanding of VR. It took a hold of me. I was captured by the experience, even though I only tried a few minutes of Oculus's introductory experience, First Contact. A few weeks after this experience, I got my first Oculus Rift, later the Oculus Quest, and I began my hopefully lifelong exploration of immersive technologies. My orientation and relationship toward extended reality and gaming stem from a passionate enthusiasm or even a devotion for these technologies and the experiences they provide. However, I'm also aiming to approach these domains with mindful critical alertness, searching for meaning or aiming to create meaning as I engage with the experiences. And I am intentionally including traditional video games here because, for me, video games are virtual environments offering virtual experiences. Also, as the player engaging with games, I am an active participant. I have agency, and I have to make choices and face the consequences of my decisions. Though when it comes to video games, these worlds are not accessed through a head-mounted display or HMD, as in extended reality, but usually through a screen, keyboard, mouse, or a game controller. But since I engage with both virtual reality experiences and video games on PC and console, I will use these talks to reflect on and explore both realms. My exploration and the way I would like to share stories and ideas related to extended reality in the upcoming episodes is influenced by autoethnography or autoethnographic writing, a first-person evocative method of inquiry and storytelling. I would like to share subjective, lived experiences in ways that engage or even inspire my audience or listeners. I hope these talks eventually become a catalyst to create a community to explore virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, and video games in the context of everyday life, and more importantly, in education and personal development, The reason I decided to create these talks is to cultivate a more mindful and systematic approach to these topics, to translate my ideas and experiences into an accessible and concrete form, pushing myself to process and make sense of my engagements and to share them as stories through language and my voice. The YouTube version of these episodes also includes visuals from my recorded VR experiences and gameplay to provide an additional aesthetic layer to those who would enjoy watching images and video footage related to a particular topic or experience. As for the main title of these talks, Pilgrim in the Metaverse, it was inspired by David Sudnow's book with a similar title, Pilgrim in the Microworld, and Neal Stephenson's 1992 science fiction novel Snow Crash, in which he coined the term Metaverse, describing a virtual reality version of the internet. And I plan to emulate Sudnow's example, the way he investigated, engaged with, and created meaning out of his journey to master a classic video game breakout. His book offers an intimate insight into the player who is seeking much more than entertainment. For me, the book is an example of searching for wisdom or constructing meaning based on a mindful engagement with a game as well as the gameplay. And as a graduate student pursuing literacy studies, I am also invested to find out how these new technologies will shape or change reading, writing, and meaning-making practices. As a passionate reader, I am also interested in close or mindful reading, and I plan to use close reading techniques in my engagement with virtual experiences and video games, and explore what happens when I approach a game or a virtual world through the tools and methods of close reading. Can video games or virtual experiences change us like books or stories? Can video games help us to find meaning or to create wisdom? In what ways virtual reality can serve us in purposeful ways to lead and cultivate a good life, to offer us tools and solutions to pursue fulfillment in human existence, or to deepen the quality of our relationships? There are many more questions I would like to explore and live with, so I hope you will join me in this adventure. Thank you for listening.